Welcome members to another weekly update. Please check the overall market update first, where I look at the overall conditions so we see which way to get the wind in our sails. So let's look at some individual picks now. To be honest, I'm just going to ride things a little bit, and I want to see maybe the market correct first. So I'm trying to get ready with some positions here that look, when things correct in the market, see if I can get back in. Stocks like this, EWZ, they're just orderly. I like how it respects the 40-week line, gets above it, stays above it, and it's in a nice upwards trend now. I'd like to get into this if it can come back to the 40-week line here, somewhere between 33 and 35. I'd like to be in there, and a stop loss would be in the weekly price dropping below the 40-week. Let's look at gold, because that's getting interesting, as I've been commenting on. I explained a couple of weeks ago that the gold miners lead the metal. So we can look at the chart here of gold. After this drop here, this aggressive uptrend now. But what I was looking at was the junior gold miners, GDXJ, because that's kind of like the bellwether that leads the bigger gold miners, and the bigger gold miners lead gold. So I was looking at this as being an indicator. Last Friday it closed above the 40-week line, so I said that was a good indicator, and it's continued it this week, even better. Now if I look at the bigger gold miners and GDX, we'll see that they are indeed following suit, and on Friday the weekly chart's now showing that they have closed above the 40-week line. So the picture is building now. Anyone who's short miners and gold miners right now could, I think, be about to be upset. So the metal just needs to catch up, as it always does, and it is doing. That's definitely broken its downtrend. That's quite an aggressive uptrend now, and so the metal should soon be back on track, and the miners already are. So I'll be looking at some of those individual miners shortly. So you can see stocks like this, like Barrick Gold, just now closed above their 200-day line, getting back on track. I can see this clearer on the chart here. Stocks I've traded before, so that's looking interesting. Royal Gold, that's nice. That didn't really correct that, as I commentated before. It didn't really correct that much, that one, and that's impressive. So I'm looking at this one now. It's just closed right above the 40-week line, so that's actually quite interesting. By the way, when I'm doing this every week, I'm just going through what I go through every Sunday night. I'm just thinking aloud, so it's not rehearsed or staged. So excuse me if it goes back and forth, but that's really looking over my shoulder. So I'm really just thinking aloud here. It's not a script. So hopefully you can see what's going through my mind when I'm making decisions. Can't always guarantee they're the right decisions, but this is what I'm thinking. So gold patch perking up. I like this close, the 40-week line just there, and it's just consolidating nicely above there. In fact, that's a really nice tight entry point now. I could say, based on the weekly chart, I'm going to get in and roll with Royal Gold. And just say if it closes below the 40-week line, which is only, what do I lose? A couple 100 points maybe. So I like Royal Gold there. I think that's a great entry point. And GDXJ was obviously a position that I took last week based on its close above the 40-week line. There it is, and that's moved ahead a little bit, so it's a little bit of profit there, and I'll stay on that one, let it ride all the way until it weekly closes below the 40-week line. It's still quite, I would still buy that between, sort of 39 to up to 40, 41 even. It's a tight stop loss there. Like that one. Let's look at some individuals. CF keeps on chugging away there, so that's doing nicely. I was stopped out of Nike. That was my kind of short hedge. The market just keep pushing higher, so Nike has broken out of its downward descent there, as we can see. Fine. It was a tight stop anyway. What else is there here? CS is sagging a little bit, but it's above the 40-week line, so I'm not bothered as long as it stays above that. Fine, it can just, there's a slow burning one. Other things that I was still in. The one that I was looking at last week, and I couldn't remember the ticker symbol for it, is PIEIX, not PEIS. Let me show you what I was thinking about this one. It's, as you can see, it's respecting its 40-week line again, and it's going up, and it just sort of done what it done before. It just bounced down to the 40-week line and off it goes again. And there it is. You can see it's just bouncing off the 40-week line before it shoots off. It's such a cheap stock, though. You know, spread betting wise, you haven't missed much at all if you want to get in at this level, or anything around here, really around the $7 mark. GEOS was another one, and again that sagged a little bit, but just doing nothing more than just bouncing off of this 40-week line now. As you can see there, it's sort of steadily rising. It's it's so respectful of its 40-week line is what's interesting about this stock. So you could argue this is just this is another great entry point on a low price stock anyway. So needless to say, I'm not shorting the market yet, and make my millionaire trades. I want to see some sort of meaningful correction in the market first. Because those really have to be those slam dunk trades that I really think are certain. And to be honest, I the market is feeling so stretched right now that to really absolutely make sure I nail that trade, I want to see some kind of healthy reset, and then I'll be really looking for that golden bullet. Patience it will be rewarded with that one. And on another note, just regarding, I had a question about the system that I use regarding. Now remember, I'm switching systems now. I'm talking about, this is now my long only investment system that I've spoken about a lot previously, where you would use a variety of indicators to say, is this a bull market or a bear market, as quickly as possible. Using leveraged ETF, this allows you to back tested for 35 years, make gains about 30 to 36% a year. And the signal on that system was given about, I looked for a 6-month line in the 40 week going up, so that was about May, so that would have run through to October the 11th, something like there. So about the time of the election, we've had 6 months upwards on the 40 week. The 40 weeks above the 70 week, RSI above 50%, and price above the 70 week. About there, my system said bull market and then buy. So that answers the question about where my long only kind of more of an investment system, kind of like one trade, fire and forget, would have said enter, and that's it there. But that was the only point to enter. You can't enter it later on, or you could be getting in too late. And the exit point is when a weekly close below the 70 week. So that system had you in there and still has you in it. So that's all for now. I will speak to you next time.